Hello. Anyway, so I'm up on Tumblr like I always am, and one of my friends hits me up, and he asks me this question, and I thought that it was a really good question, so I was like, well, I'm gonna make a video about it because I feel that I can't really express myself fully in a sentiment of like just words and writing. So I figured that I would just speak from the heart in regards to how I feel. So this is the question. I just tagged myself in a harmless picture of my face with black men hashtag on Tumblr. And when I followed the tag, nothing but sexual images of black men came up. When I searched black women hashtag, the majority of the photos weren't sexualized. Why are we so sexualized on here, meaning Tumblr, and possibly other places too? What do you think is the reason for this? Okay, so I follow about 1,200 plus blogs on Tumblr. I have over 1,000 followers, and on my feed all the time, I constantly see images of black men, usually in a state of undress, and usually they're sexualized, and their bodies are sexualized. Sometimes you catch women too, but I mean, for the most part, it's overbearingly male. And maybe that's because of the blogs that I follow in regards to there being a lot of fashion blogs, and they tend to kind of do a little bit of both fashion, and they kind of do a little bit of sexualized images with it. So you gotta come across it at some point. But I understand what he's talking about in the sense that I do feel that although black women are objectified, that black men tend to be sexualized a lot more, especially when it comes to the internet. And I think a lot of that comes in terms of the historical context that black men were placed on. They were seen as brutes. They were seen as wild bucks. They were seen as mandingos because of the size of their dicks, things like that. They were even hung for their dicks. And they used those things to kind of build on the ideology that black men were more akin to animals or apes than white men. And that was why a lot of them were kind of depicted as the way that they were, as being uncivilized and brutish in regards to a lot of their actions. And on here, you see a lot of images where black men are in a state of undress, overbearingly than almost any other race. And it seems as though it's in a, like, it's not necessarily in a negative light, but it's in a light of they're just more sexualized. And even you see like all these blogs dedicated to the black body, and you see a lot of these blogs dedicated to glorifying black men as beautiful creatures, but they do it in a way they're not necessarily praising their minds or their intellects. They're praising the fact of how they look or how big their genitals are or how defined their bodies are. It's not necessarily in the sense of, okay, I'm praising this person because they are a gem in the black community. And a lot of instances where black women are hashtagged on here and other places, they're depicted for their achievements, either scholastic, academic, or just creatively in a lot of ways. You even have shows dedicated to this, such as Black Girls Rock. And that was one of my biggest gripes over time, where black men they don't really have that anymore. We don't have any more black, like, Million Man marches and things like that, you know? So, and I think it's not necessarily the fault of society as well. It's also our fault too, because a lot of the things that we could be doing. We could be putting more of those images out there, and a lot of people do. It's just that they're kind of overbeared by those who view us more in a visual manner. And that's one of the problems that I have with Tumblr, because I ask that same question, like, how come every time, like, you have all these blogs dedicated to, like, the body of the black male, but you really don't see a lot of things that praise his intellect or positive figures in the black community. You don't see a lot of Harry Belafonte's or Sidney Poitier's, or even just somebody such as even a David Banner type, who is considered to be urban, but he's also very political in terms of the things that he talks about. But you don't see a lot of that either. So I definitely understand your question, and I definitely share your sentiments in it. But I think that it's more so the idea that, okay, maybe we just need to take better strides in propelling the positive black male image than we are now, so that we can put it in the industry, or put it in the public sphere, that we are viable parts of society, and we are individuals that have a voice and have a positive outlook in some of the things that we believe in. So, I mean, I definitely share your sentiments in that too. So I just wanted to make this video to kind of share what I was thinking about in regards to that as well. So.